Welcome back, everybody. It's 8 o'clock on the 23rd of August. That would be a Saturday. If you're watching live or if you're watching later, don't forget there's a link in the description. Join the Discord. Stop dooning. Get involved. Hello, Apolloni Art. Hello, MZ. Hello, Zeus. Hello, Boyo. Looks like Dragon's offline for some reason. And Jacob is here. And Full Dive Media is here. So let's see. Gordon's alive. Yeehaw. Hi, good evening, and how are you doing today? So, welcome back, everybody. So, we're going to get to the QWEN-EDIT 16 shot, obviously, but I'm just showing you what I did while I was sleeping, which was basically that thing we started when the stream ended last night, which was put a bunch of Thora stuff as the image input, and then use the ENH. And off you go. So yeah, we're going ahead. These are all of the, this is like anime style animation testing, I guess. We've taken the Thora Laura, we've taken the Thora Laura image outputs, and then we've used the ENH to animate them. It's pretty obvious. I think it's done a pretty good job. Okay, this is actually a bit of a Laura blend. We're using Abstract, which is a blend of Cyber Society and Abstract Chaos, as in the output images. We've got Abstract as the style, and then we've got Thora as the character. And most of the images already had her in them in a pose, so if the pose looks a bit strange, that's why. But yeah, the coffee is locked and we're watching the outputs. I haven't even seen them myself yet, so they've all been interpolated, noised, and upscaled. So they're all, I think they're all like, it's like 2.8 by 1440, something like that. They're pretty big. Bigger than they need to be, that's for sure. She's floating in that one. So yeah, I'm just going to sit here and look at these. A little bit of a chill out, I guess, before we get into some workflows. Oh yeah, made some new music today. I was working on a couple of reports, and the thought entered my mind. So I think we're going to do like a ska punk rock album for fun. And I had another go at Hard House, but I think the model just has a huge bias towards Eurodance and stuff like that. But I put some of the tracks up in fresh tunes. So Boyo says we should make some UK flags. I think you mean English flags. Ooh, that's topical. If you know, you know. We need to animate because I'm just poking him because he's in Wales. It's funny, isn't it? I think the Romans came up with divide and conquer. But anyway, we need to animate Fern's lanky women. Okay. So anyway, like I said, we are animating Thora Laura. We're taking the image inputs. It's followed a lot of them really well. And it's animating the scenes. So it's been through them once. We're going to go through them all again. There's only 50 of them, so it takes a little bit of time. But by the time I'm done with them, because I want to make a music video again. Because the thing is, I've made a lot of music videos in the past, right? And some of them don't even get any views, but the thing is, what we're doing here is like a technology demo, and it just came out. So in a year, this will be what's called a contemporary example of the technology, and that will get used as a baseline to compare with what comes next. And I've been doing it for years. Even if it has no like commercial use to you, I still think it's a great sort of, looking back. Like if I had Civit AI access right now, I would open up a tab, go to the Thora SDXL and show you the first model. And you know, here is where she is now. You'll see all of the style cues are still there. You know, we all know what flux chin is, so I'm not really too bothered if her, you know, facial structure changes a little bit from base model to base model. But this is the best rendition we've ever had. And I will also point out that Thora isn't a consistent character, really. She's just got like good, what's it called, consistent style cues. Like I think the hair and the face is all that's consistent. Virtually everything else, age, outfit, all of that is fluid. But you know, it's like a Ghost in the Shell ripoff. She's got red hair, guys. That's about what I changed. You know. So military, sort of vaguely military redhead in a cyberpunk world. There's more effort actually gone into the backgrounds. The backgrounds actually got as much training as she did. So, and the guns come totally from the base model. There were no good guns in my data set. And also I've retrained it. So what I've done is I've taken my original data set, reproduced it in WAN, and then trained that data set to get this model. I'll probably explain it in Microsoft Paint later. But look, it even kept the eyes. She's still got her crazy eyes in almost all of the videos, which is kind of nuts. Orange there, but yeah. She often has the crazy eyes. Ah, she got an extra arm. I love this gliding across the floor. Is it slow motion? Is she sliding? I don't know. That's pretty good. It just tried to figure it, because it's just trying to figure it out from the first frame, see? And I think it does really well. And you got to think as well, I'm just doing new prompts, new seed every time with a different image. So we're not like, you know, doing the same image over and over again, which you could do. I reckon you'd probably get a good animation probably 1 in 3 times. It doesn't sound very good, but I'm being like super perfectionist about it. Well, look, if you were to say this is acceptable, that's like the bar. So that gun's a bit weird, but it's okay, you get away with that. See, these actually look really good. See what I mean about the eyes? That's the first one. The first one had weird settings. And also, I think early on I was using a different set of images. Yeah. God knows. Right, that's enough of gawking at the outputs. Let me take my watch off. We need to get serious on this. So yeah, like I say, I'm going to put this through the same pipeline. Might do some like alterations, but we'll get to that later. For now, let's get into a workflow. Full screen. Get rid of the terminal. We don't need to see that. So as you can see, it's the exact same workflow I used to make the last video. All I did was I changed, well, we made the new enhancer, which has been made Laura aware of the combination that we're going to use. Generate the video prompt using the input image. Classic prompt there. And then just iterate through the images. Obviously we've got the Laura loaded in the stack there. Okay. And it's doing the thing. I mean, look, if I'd actually bothered to do something with, you know what I mean? Because you've got to think, we're running this in full auto mode for investigation. I didn't deserve to get as many good videos out of it. You see what I mean? Oh, it's still technically making new ones. Hang on. Okay, so it's not actually finished. It's got 3 left to do. I think we might cancel it at the end of this. Yeah. This is the last one. I think I made like 70 videos or something. Yes. So anyway, the plan is I'm going to do the reverse trails on the intro as well as the outro, further extending the length of the clip. So that's one of the plans. It also means that a lot of the glitch effects will happen to the reverse trail. So it gives more time. Because ironically, look, I was expecting it to be bad at the start of the video, but if you look, it doesn't even flicker. Maybe there? See the little flicker? The colours changed just there. But the smoke is kind of covers it up. Look, it immediately goes back because the smoke appears and puts it back. So I don't know. Apart from the occasional, I mean, look, I was expecting it to be much worse than this. And like I said, the special effects preset was made when it was that bad, you know. So look, if we take a look at whatever's cooking. Oh my god, double trouble. Okay, that's not done that before. So we've ended up with a lot of Thoras and swords. It's okay. Just going to do the cathode ray. I may as well cancel this. It's crap. It's broken. I'll just cancel it. Right. And then we can get into what we were doing. Boyo says, do you want my overlap extender workflow, which forces 6 to 10 frames overlap to keep video and temporal and video color consistent on the join between 2 clips when extending? Do I want it? I think everyone wants it. Have you shared it? You should share it. And if you have shared it, it's in Comfy Workflows in the Discord. If you haven't shared it, please do so people can check it out. I don't know if yeah, you know how it be. You know how it be. But yeah, so because we're switching to QWEN, you know, I tried to lead the show with a quick 15-minute hey hoo-ha, hello everyone, you know, unless we have to dive straight into something, but yeah, that sounds interesting. To be honest, what I wanted to do was do some actual chaining, because the thing is, like, the chaining is okay. But we're going to jump over to QWEN for a bit first. So let's see. Boop and a boop. And then we go to the scene swap. Now this is the one that we were working on yesterday. It's a beast. So let's see. We want it to be on the... Chaining 3 times. Is it actually generating new video? Because I was under the impression we need camera control. See, I want to wait for chaining until we have camera control, because I think we could do like infinite zoom and, you know, rotation and all this cool stuff. But I'm still in native land, and I need to get into the... I need to get back to the QGI nodes land, if you know what I mean. It's kind of like a completely different bloody dimension. Where's the new one at? Is that it? No, that's Thora E&H. Isn't there a new one? I swear there's a new one in here. Eye to Eye Abstract Thora System V2. Is that the one though? Wait a minute. Abstract Thora. No, that's not what it's called. It's called like 16 shot or something. I must have not saved the damn thing. Hold up. again. I must have gotten like confused and started making something else. Hang on. Do you know what? I know how to save it. Just use a Thora image. Give us a sec. If we just start using Thora instead of Rune's character. Hello, computer. I need the computer to compute. Is that going to be... probably need a better sample of her. It's just Thora holding a gun. I mean, it's better than nothing for now, but... I mean, she'll always have headphones on, which isn't great. Hang on, I've got like a stash of all of the best Thoras. Okay, that one's pretty good. It's a little bit of a young Thora though. From her days at the academy. See how I was giving it images like this? You see what I mean? So it's like, oh, she must be running up the corridor. Oh, she must be, you know. Oh, she's like diving along. Oh, you know, that's... And occasionally she'd be like, oh, she's flying, and she'd just float away. They were good. But a lot of these are pretty easy. That's a good one. Because most of them are her, like, shooting at the camera or like, wearing a silly outfit. They're not bad. Just trying to find, like, the primo. That's a pretty good character portrait, I think. Okay, we'll use that. So that's my character. Okay. Now, let's explain how it works. Yeah, basically it's really simple. We've just put together the same thing that we had yesterday. The only difference is it's now got project, you know, file project save in there. And if you weren't here yesterday, the breakdown is you have a choice of Olama or Open Router. I'm going to be using Open Router, probably because my Olama needs updating again. Yeah, I know, right? Thank you, MZ. And yeah, I'll be looking forward to it, boy. Oh, like I said, you're the top guys. The more accurate, the more active people in the group, like the top guys putting out good stuff. It's always worth checking out their stuff too. So yeah, essentially it's, you know, we've got the LoRa loader in here. This is QWEN-EDIT Q8. We've got the Q2K for the clipping coder, and we're using the Pig Qwen for the VAE. So it's a fully guffed. And then each Open Router. Yes, exactly. You got it, MZ. Train a LoRa on the workflow, yeah. Because we have the opportunity to do 4 different variations of the same prompt, which is aware of the image, and it's aware of our LoRa. Well, it's, I say it's aware of our LoRa, but we don't have it loaded and we're in a different model. So what does that mean? It's going to use the same words. So it should keep it in theme, is my theory for this one. But there's something I still need to change. This is image to video. So what we're going to do is a modification where we make it image to image, and it does the 4 prompt JSON output so that my parser can split those 4 prompts. And then we put in the text encoder. We do all of our different things. This is all the same, really, just different seed, but it will have a slightly different prompt for each one. So then it's going to go 4 by 4 by 4. Yeah. 4 by 4, 4 by 4 by 4. 4 into 4 makes 4 more. Done. So that means every time you do a job, it'll give you 16 variants but with QWEN-EDIT. So I got a couple of goals here, and it's all LLM stuff. So this is kind of why, you know, because the workflow is fun, and we've already kind of released a basic version where you can just enter in what you want. So you don't need any of this LLM nonsense, okay? But when you have the LLM stuff working, it's like superpowers when you get it actually working properly, because you don't really need to like do the same amount of thinking to possibly get better results. So yeah, I'm going to be aiming for like an instruct type workflow here, although it does have like an auto mode. So let's just put that there. Right, I would also say with QWEN, this says scale to total image pixels, so let's just do a quick side mission. Oh, and I've got a new node to check out. There's so much stuff. So, okay. In Comfy UI, I use a node, scale image to megapixels, okay, which gives me the option of 1.0, which equals 1024 by 1024 based dimensions, total pixels, okay. Right, I just want to prep him for the question. Didn't need to really, but that's a useful node. It's a nice way. Can I just sort of a little side note, sidebar here to you guys? That's a useful node for image scaling. This kind of stuff is why sometimes AI makes you feel like you've eaten too much ice cream. This sort of self-ingratiating, congratulatory, these exclamations of, I don't know, it's just sometimes a bit weird because it's like out of place. But yeah, scale image to megapixels node in Comfy UI. I mean, it is, but it's just kind of weird because it's, you know, that's injected, right? Anyway, it's like, yeah. So it's explaining what it is, right? So what I'm going to say is, what value for 1328 by 1328 base dimensions, because that's actually what QWEN is, and I want to see if I can get some optimization out of there. Might even lead to better quality, you never know. Set it to 1.76? That doesn't make any sense. I don't believe you. When you set it to 1, it's approximately 1 million. Okay. 2048 is 4.2. Okay, alright, okay. So on that scale, that makes sense. Alright, I'm used to looking at things in 16:9 all the time, so even that threw me. 1.76. It's quite a big difference. It makes, you know what I mean? So hang on a minute. What value for 1536? X. So hang on, we're gonna test that. Let me just write that down. That's like useful. Well, it might be useful, it might not be useful. 1.76 equals 1328, and what was the other one? 1.76. It's almost double the pixel depth. 2.36 equals 15. So that's why the images look so good. They're not just... See, I always sat there going, oh, 1536. That's only 50% more than 1024. Wrong. Square law. It's actually 2.36 times the pixels. It's more than double. So that explains a lot. Because everyone's used to looking at things on longest side with 16:9, and obviously the square is bigger, right? And then when you sort of squidge that into the shape you want, it's bigger, but it's kind of hard to put it into real terms. But I think you can see there, you know, like when we do WAN image generation, it's 2.36 megapixel. If these numbers are correct, we'll obviously find out. And the default workflow for QWEN is 1328 by 1328. So that's why I set my aspect ratio calculator to be based on that value. But for this workflow, it doesn't use aspect size. It uses the built-in megapixels thing. So it might be that we can actually do 1.76 is what I'm saying. So we're going to try that. Okay, so we've got our image. That's our character. Okay. My project, I'm going to call it Thora Instant Laura. Okay. No API key in here yet. Okay. So I've got my I2V abstract, whatever, blah, 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 blah system. Let's get the actual source for that real quick. Probably need to restart so I can do this. Yeah, let's do that. We'll do it all at once. Hang on. Increment the version. We're juggling. Save as that. Export it. Okay. Restart this. Get back here. Okay, that's that done. Go to the ENH system. ENH store. Right, so this is the I2V abstract Thora system. So what I want to do... damn. It's not going to be... got nothing to do with the abstract. Alright, it's just an extra hoop to jump through. Yeah, we'll put him to the test. See, this is one of the reasons why I like Sonnet 4. It's able to do recursion. People ask me, what the hell is recursion? And I say, if you go to an LLM and you say do X, it'll do X. If you say do X while Y, they can usually do that now, even the local ones. But if you say do X while Y, then A, that's where they start to come apart, some of them. And furthermore, the more complexity, the more stages of rules, you know, the more complexity in a task that you add like that. Do this, then this, with that, but not if that, and then if that, this. And the more complexity you're adding, these are recursion tasks, you know, because it has to go off and do something else and come back and find out, blah, blah, blah. Sonnet 4 can get real deep. You can give it ridiculous sets of instructions and it'll follow them all to the letter. Whereas some other LLMs will kind of do like the first 3 steps and kind of go, I did it. Or just not do it very well. But the weird thing is, Opus wasn't able to do it like Sonnet 4 could. I haven't really spent enough time with Opus 4.1 to be able to tell. It's much more expensive. You hit the daily limit real fast, so you can't really test it as much. And to be honest, I do more testing with the local models now. So, because they are almost as capable. They're just a bit too big to run on average systems, but that will change, I reckon, by Christmas. But we'll see. So right now what we're doing is we're going to take my image to video, temporally aware, abstract. So it's a LoRa aware with 2 LoRas. So we're going to convert this into an image to image prompt. And it's going to have the 4-shot JSON output format. Okay. So in order to get the JSON output, I'm going to need the T2I ENH 4-shot template. Oh, wait a minute. I've already got a Thora one in T2I. Give me a sec. Get rid of that. That makes it a lot easier. Because I was going to have to tell him to get rid of the abstract and make it image to image. But this one's already... I wonder if this is temporally aware. It doesn't need to be. It's an image. It's for images. So image to image 4-shot. Yeah, beautiful. Okay. Oh, let's just say it. I keep forgetting I can do that now. I need to set up the hotkey properly today as well. We can make... Oh my god. We can make... Guys. It's weird. I'm not used to having the button. I still need to, like... It's funny. There we go. So... I have to take a picture of it and show you guys. It's so silly. It's literally like a button on the desk. Oh, dude. Okay, ready? We need to make an image-to-image version of this system prompt so that we can make temporally aware, LoRa aware, image-to-image with JSON format 4-shot output as shown in the attached example. Please make my new system prompt. Just a little bit of a prayer. There we go. Yes. I need to put the Bing back in. It used to say, like me, it used to go Bing when it was ready. But I for this version of the software, I didn't put in the you know, the audible Bing. And if I did, I forgot. Maybe we'll look at the code. But yeah, so enhanced multi-angle image-to-image system prompt with LoRa keywords and temporal awareness. Okay, that's great. But you know what I mean, guys. So, okay. Let me just copy paste this. Open it up. And just... it's still going. See, there was something I forgot. See, this is the thing about it. It outputs like this. Like, the response from the LLM is always this. Yeah. So it's going to do standard close-up wide shot dynamic every time, for every group of 4. Oh, it's gone. Oh, it's still going. Temporal modifications. Oh, okay, well, tactical gear. School uniform, tactical. What? Wait a minute. How is that a temporal modification? I think sometimes these... Do you see what I mean by they get a little bit high on their own? It might just... Because there are no school uniforms. Oh. So you put in the reference, change her outfit to tactical gear and add a rifle. Okay, fine. I did not read the brief, guys. I jumped to conclusions big time. Every character becomes... So here we are, right? Image analysis first. Always analyze reference image before processing text. Character identity preservation. Maintain recognizable character features through the modification. Mandatory Thora assignment. Every character becomes Thora woman to make sure the trigger for the LoRa, even though we don't have the LoRa right now, I still think it's useful to do it. Temporal coherence. I know, like with QWEN, I don't think it's going to matter. All it will mean is that if I trained a QWEN LoRa, it would be triggered. You see what I mean? In this process. I haven't done that. But watch this space, I guess. Temporal coherence. Blend reference elements with requested changes intelligently. Visual consistency. All 4 prompts must maintain character recognizability. So this is one of the reasons why I'm doing it. When you use an LLM to enhance a prompt, every single one is like a whole new... Think about it, okay? The way LLMs work right now, unless you're using a chat, if you're using a chat, you can kind of get a little bit more consistency in the conversation. But usually, it's like the guy you got the first prompt enhanced by, he's dead. And now you're talking to a completely new person. You see what I mean? And he's been programmed with the exact same instruction, and he's reliably going to give you a similar answer, but it's going to be variation you can't control. But if you tell him to just make you all 4 prompts at once, they're all under his control. So it gives you more consistency in that set of 4 prompts. Now, obviously, I've tailored it to give me different shot types, which occasionally doesn't even work. But by doing it many times, or by slightly altering, it works. So anyway, enhancement. Improve anime quality while preserving reference character. LoRa integration. Strategic keyword usage for optimal image-to-image results. When it says that improve anime quality, it means, you know, if the eyes are crap, make them better. If the hands are crap, make them better. If the, you know, that sort of thing. Transform any reference image into 4 coherent, LoRa-optimized anime prompts that maintain character identity while incorporating requested modification. Okay, it's a lot of stuff. So yeah, I'm just going to copy that in there and rename it to whatever this is supposed to be. And this is why I need Sonnet 4, because my You might say this is getting out of hand. So here, grab that file. Where the heck? We're not in the right folder right now. Hold up. Okay, change it to that. But eye to eye 4 shot. Okay, now is there anything I've forgotten? I swear there was one more thing. I swear there was one more thing that I've forgotten here. Wait, did I actually? Oh, I forgot. I did it with the microphone. It doesn't know what law it is. It thinks it's a person. I swear there's something I missed. I'm sure it'll hit me in a minute. Alright. So anyway, like I say, now I've saved that new base prompt in the ENH store, I can just hit R. I should be getting a... Ooh, let's hit refresh as well. We got a new node to check out. See, this new node is kind of like a whole different thing. Hey, Fernicar, Battlecruiser operational, welcome, welcome. Liked and subscribed. The noodles remind me about Itano's circus. Itano's flying circus, perhaps? Boyo says, Drift agreed to ENH prompt lanky women into videos. I don't recall that, but it would be fun. Fernicar said, technically he already did. Yeah, Cyber Society does have the tall girls. If you just use 9 to 16, it totally works. So, what you're looking at here, if you've just joined, is a 16-shot QWEN-EDIT setup using an agent. Now, there's one thing... now I remember what it is. See, this is going to work, but it's more tailored for the full QWEN image right now. So... let's just see if we got it here. Do you know what? I don't see it there. Still got to do the R, even though we just refreshed the page. Yeah, if you just do 9 to 16, a lot of stuff is going to get ridiculously tall. There it is. Eye to eye Thor at ENH 4-shot V3. So we've got 4 shots. Alright. Now I'm going to be sending the same prompt into each one and just relying on the fact that it's 4 different ones to give me different results. But you could actually give it 4 different instructions, which is what I'm going to end up doing. But I'm kind of testing as well as we go along. We are on version 50 of this project. There is still one thing left to do, because as I say, this would work fine, but we're doing edit, not... we're doing edit, we're not doing a normal image prompt. So that means we've got to dive back in and basically tell him to respin it. He understands the difference. Well, I hope so anyway. Alright. Currently, the four prompts which are being output are highly detailed, enhanced image prompts, which use a single line paragraph format, often limited to a word count. It's good enough, okay? I try not to talk about token counts with the LLM because he can't actually count. He doesn't have a way. He can only guess. And so I try to kind of hand wave it. Word count, he can understand, okay? So we kind of hand wave tokens when we talk about stuff with the LLM. Because he'll only guess and hallucinate answers anyway. So currently the 4 prompts which are being output are highly detailed enhanced image prompts which use a single line paragraph format, often limited to a word count. However, we are currently interfacing with an instruct type image generation system which allows for instructions, action-based instructions, and instruction-based editing. I have included a list of examples used in a similar system Flux Context, where we are currently using QWEN-EDIT. Let him know. He'll probably do a web search without telling me, the cheeky monkey. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to drop in one of my Flux Context documents. I'm pretty sure I've got, if I just make a new window here, let's see, open folder, we're going to go to my projects, right, tools right now. Text. Nothing. With a K maybe, because I'm an idiot. Hey, I think it is it spelt with a K, or am I just like a Mortal Kombat fan? I'm born in the, you know what I mean, raised in the 90s. So what's all this then? There's nothing there. Okay, we're gonna have to open the whole thing. I swear there's a cheat sheet. Haha. Art team handoff. Cheat sheet 1. Hang on, I can't see a damn thing. Perfect. Cheat sheet 1, cheat sheet 2. Yes. This is I'm just going to dose him up with all of this. So I've already written all this stuff. It's like a whole bunch of tutorials on how to use this type of editing system, yeah? So I'm going to try and dose up this ENH so that it spits out this kind of prompt. That's the idea anyway. We're going to teach him to context, but as a QWEN-EDIT agent. So yeah, that's the plan. So I just take my 2 cheat sheets. Just actually alt tab it straight back to the combo. There you go. Okay, read the attached cheat sheet documents and infuse, that's going to be a fun word, infuse the skills, no, the knowledge into the new system prompt, written to a new document named I2I-TH0RR4-edit foreshop.md. And if this works, because usually what happens is he'll like break his own ability to do the foreshot, you know? Because we're like, really, you need to forge everything at once, and then it's fine. And it's like the more you add, the more you risk the first thing you made getting like forgotten. So that's where I just sort of refine the plan and reforge it over and over again. You know, you don't really need to edit it. Just make it again with the thing that was missing. Probably get into the weeds anyway. We're probably going to get 16 unimpressed white cats in a minute. Because if this fails, you just get unimpressed white cat. You know, to stop it from breaking, from having no prompt, there's a fallback. So if there's a passing issue with the output, you just get unimpressed white cat. Alright. Can we save this as a thing? eye-to-eye edit system. I mean, yeah, but it's a bit more selective than that, I'm afraid. Because obviously we already pre-configured this with the Fora data, so it's going to have like a bias towards trained captions. So yeah, edit, 4-sharp. There we go. Okay. Hit R again. We can actually run the workflow. Oh, there's one more thing to do. Someone needs an API key. It's trying to take me to OpenAI. No. NH17. Quick! Screenshot it, quick! There we go. Okay. Done. Dunzo, as they say. And then I will get rid of that one so we can actually share some other stuff. See, the weird thing is when you use an enhancer, you can't really share your work as easily because you have to kind of cancel all the API keys that were in the that are embedded in all the bloody images and workflows. So I do want to give away the workflows, you know what I mean? Obviously you can just click the box, but then it's like you're not. So have we done it? Edit 4-sharp. All right, we've got a chance, guys. We have a chance. I need to actually. Oh yeah, the outputs, right? So I need to just bypass Olana real quick. Okay. And then I obviously want a prompt here. Place the woman into a variety of scenes and environments. I don't even know if it's really going to listen to that, guys. Let's find out. It's kind of a vague way of using it. I just need to see if it like just crashes. I'm more worried about whether it'll actually run. Okay, so obviously with a workflow like this, I'm not really going to be looking at a load like 100 previews. So I'm going to be going to I need to get my hotkeys open, my god. Yeah, it's looking like it's time. Look at this. I can barely even get to the folders. Where'd it go? 122's gone. There it is, trolling me, popping around all over the screen. See, I was too slow, really. That was the problem. Ah, crap. I just found out I need to go to QWEN. What are we doing? We're doing Thora Instant Laura, so it hasn't even made an image yet. But in a minute, we'll have a folder to look at. See, I'll just be looking at it here. Because, like I said, when it's like this, I mean, obviously you can turn off all the lines if you want. But we're just trying to make a variety of things. There's a lot of experimental stuff going on. So, like, you know, the enhancer itself is doing quite a bit of work there. And then whether or not it's actually even going to put out, like, what prompt did it even put out? I need to put some whatchamacallits, probes. So let's get some show texts. Maybe we'll do something like get a little prompt gallery going. feel like I'm on a remote desktop. Oh my god. Where's the edge of it? It's lagging so hard right now. Ugh. Come on, the hardest thing in my job. Getting the resize thing to appear. My goodness me. Alright. Furnicar says, LLM Party for Comfy UI did tackle the API key concerns. Maybe you should check their code. Ah, that's interesting. Yeah, find out how it is that they are referencing a key. It's probably an environment variable somewhere. Zeus, is there no way to have something like replace API key with a simple da-da-da? Yeah, you'd use an environment variable in the app. Node. Like normally you use like a .env file and stuff like that. So it's like there's a bunch of ways of doing it. Yeah, and you'd reference the environment variable so it's not printed in the JSON. But like I say, I just cancelled the key. So you know you can see the key, but it doesn't work. Okay, so how are we doing on time? Because I remember yesterday it was being a dick. Now remember, we are doing a point. Remember, we've upped the res. We've upped the res. So 2 minutes and 15 seconds. So it's got a little bit of upscaling built in. I need to make sure it's not skewed. Thora Instant Laura, seen LLM. Oh baby. So the backgrounds might come out a little generic, but it's working. Little reminder of what the that's the donor pick. So we gave it that. So far so good. Do you know what? That actually looks really good for Qwen. I think the resolution size is quite a factor. Oh, come on, make it bigger. I know it's bigger than that, you cheeky boy. There's our donor image. Let's zoom in on that bit. Don't need to see the background. Okay. Get a little comparison going on here. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. That's actually a big problem. You know what that means. But wait. How is it doing unimpressed cat? But still doing the... Is it the image? Is it the image input and the vision? So it's doing all of this without any prompt? There's something wrong, guys. We're not allowed to look at this yet. Stop. Something went wrong. It was giving unimpressed cat prompts. Let me just double check it again, because... Ooh. What? They're all attached to the same key. Oh, I know what's happening. One of them is Sonnet. Yep, I'm glad to make this mistake live. So, ever wondered why your API key is failing, but everything seems right? It's because you've got an image input and the default LLM doesn't have an image. You know, Deep Coder, the first one on the list, doesn't have image input. So it fails. It's my fault. I forgot to say font Sonnet 4. Oh, that's my fault. But Opus 4. No. Opus 4. Yeah, we'll do Opus 4.1 for prompt gen. And then so what was happening was, if you don't get JSON coming out, and it does have the ability to clean up some of this nonsense. You see how it's giving me a bunch of like, it's giving me like a commentary which I didn't want or asked for, and a lot of JSON parsers, I had to write like a junk scanner, so it'd like ignore the garbage before the JSON markup, you know. so it probably still worked, but that's why we're also going to get another canary up top before we run it again on the first output, just to make sure it doesn't say an unimpressed white cat, because that means it's just not working. It made her a giant cat. Okay. Place Dora woman in the ancient Japanese temple courtyard with cherry blossoms while maintaining her red hair, blue eyes, tactical suit, and confident pose. I think we've cracked it, guys. We've got an instruct agent that does 16 at once. Okay. So yeah, put anything in there. Give it the vaguest of instructions. And wait. Oh, and we did a little treat. We've done a little treat for everyone here. We did some math. And we found that this gives better quality with QWEN-EDIT. You can put that, you can take that one to the bank. Okay. Alright, let's have a look at the outputs. Oh yeah, let's put her back front and center, now it's working. Oh, did we actually look at the thing as it comes out? There we go, check it out. So you see how the garbage collection is ignoring this? That would break a lot of JSON parsers, because they need it to just be JSON. And some of the code in there. Look, I'm not going to say it's the best. It's not the best. You could probably improve this. But a lot of the reason for this isn't just to pull each element out of the structure, which is what it does. It's also got a bunch of like, ignore the garbage, because the LLM loves to put stuff either before or after. And like, for example, yeah, if that isn't the last thing, it's not JSON. As far, you know what I mean? As far as a parser is concerned, if it doesn't end with the bracket, it's not JSON. It's something else, and then the whole thing gets ignored. So, I had to put in a bit of garbage collection for like these 3 signs and all this crap. So it should still work, guys. Well, let's see how many white cats we get. It seems to be going. Seems to be running now. So, Japanese garden, it's about the same as the last one. There's another one. What is that? 1352. So it's a little bit bigger. Do you know what? I think that number, it's a little bit bigger. Can we get it down to 1328? I'm a bit of a perfectionist. So like when it comes to the numbers, that should be 1328, not 1352. But then we have all been reporting weirdness with the sizes on this model, so... Oh! Is that not the same image? I don't really see much difference there. Let me see the donor image. Because sometimes when the prompt doesn't work, you just get like an incredibly same image. I wonder how many variations we actually have here. Let's read them. Need to find out. So, Japanese temple, neon lit cyberpunk street, ethereal clearing, post-apocalyptic wasteland. Okay, and then over here we have ancient Japanese temple, cyberpunk. How is it? Wait. Hang on. How are they? Hang on. How are they the same? Oh wait, I forgot to set the options. No, it's not that. With Olama, you set the options for the seed, but there is no seed with Claude. There's no way you get the exact same output every time. Because that's... Okay. It's alright. I prepared for this. Just delete that. And we put the prompts directly in here. So then it's like, you know, we are actually giving different instructions. So I could say, place the woman into a variety of interior scenes, exploring corridors and industrial spaces. Industrial interior spaces. Okay. place the woman. Is that it? Yes. Alright. The whole idea of this is scene swapping, but it can do additional stuff like change her pose a little bit occasionally. Place the woman into a variety of outdoor scenes with a good I was going to say a good spread of biomes. It's not Minecraft. With many different locations. Contrasting locations. Sorry. With contrasting locations. Okay. And then what else did we do? Place the woman into a variety of action scenes. With with many different poses. Okay, and then what do we do for the last one? The beach? No. Well, she's like a secret agent and she's sneaking about everywhere. We've done interior corridors and stuff. I don't really like doing the hacking one because I overtrained her using a computer. Because we were going to do, you know, the lo-fi where there's a girl on a computer and you just play music. It was like an idea from ages ago that we never finished. So she has a bit of a bias towards typing on a keyboard like from the side. So if I was to say, you know, she's hacking the computer, it's just going to be those images. Good for storytelling if you want to do those sorts of scenes, but it's a little bit, maybe a little bit heavy-handed. Variety of outfits using known using spy suit, military uniform, soldier's uniform. By the way, if I can get access to these, I'll be surprised, because I didn't actually train them into this version of the model. They were in a previous version, so I know they're there. But there's also stealth suit. I don't even think these will work, but it's fine. And stealth suit. It's probably like just going to use whatever the model knows. Right, let's change the project name to Instant Laura 2 because there's probably a bunch of junk from the test runs. And also change the name of this to 60 because it's probably close to ready. Export. I'm running a little bit over time, but it's always worth it. Alright, so I'll admit, this is a little bit like an analytical workflow because you don't even get anything. You just click go and you go and do something else. It's not really meant for a human to sit here and watch, but trust me, the outputs are fine, so trust me, the outputs are fine. They're all the same. But we're sorting that out now. We know why. It's because they were all the same. That's one thing I did not count on. I did not count on Claude giving the exact same answer. That was surprising. I thought there was going to be like an inbuilt seed. He gave the exact same answer, like down to the last word. Wait. Okay, maybe not. No, yeah. Down to the last word, yeah. Wait. Okay, maybe not, but almost. Yeah, there is some variation there. Yeah, okay. Oh wait, no, these are all new. Okay, I'll shut up now. Yeah, okay. Whatever. They looked similar, but actually... Change the combat roll pose, dodging gunfire, blah, 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 blah. Alright. I just want answers, guys. That's what I'm here to try and find out. I just want answers. So, we've saved it. There's our canary. It looks good. Confident stance. It is working. Good. See, I'll be quick to say it's broken. So, I mean, looking at the actual quality of the images, for QWEN, this is very good. There was no image input. It was just, there was a vision input, but no, you know, it's not image to image. Well, I guess it kind of is image to image QWEN, because obviously QWEN-EDIT. Yeah, I guess it is image to image really, isn't it? So it shouldn't be that surprising if it manages to get something close to that. Let me just put that over there. Now we can get back to where I was earlier. Can we get any bigger? I think we can. Back. Waiting for image 1. I'll just put it on anything from the last batch. I mean, that is the character. The lighting's all changed, which is what should happen, but the features are all there. Obviously, it's in a different model now, so there are some differences, but most of it's contrast and color. The proportions, I'd say her eyes are actually better in this version. They're actually doing the whole multicolor blue to red, whereas on the other side they're just kind of orange, brown. Obviously it was just making different seeds of the same image. It's like kind of like a high quality Mid-Journey effect when it does that. It's just like, oh, you get a bunch of different ones that are like the same thing. Background's a little bit worrying in this. This is why you need a LoRa, because if you have a LoRa, you can have the background will be matching. At the moment, this is kind of just generic AI in the background. And when you think about it, most of the work was done there in the background. Alright, let's go back and see if he's finished an image. Yeah, yes, he's finished. He's finished 2. Okay, now we're talking. So wait a minute, that's the original image. Is it even different at all? Yeah, it is. It's kind of different. It's been redrawn. There's extra features which weren't in ours. Okay. And the pose is slightly changed. There's like a gap between the utility belt. It's slightly different. That first one's good though. Well, they're both good. I just mean, oh, her eyes are like orange. The lighting's changed. The features are on point. See, I was thinking, using stuff like this, because I've got characters which have like, they don't have a consistent outfit. So it's kind of like, well, if I wanted to make one a consistent, I've got to make a data set of the character with a consistent outfit. That's not what I'm doing here. What we're doing here is we're trying to make a data set for the character in total. So I want to make a whole bunch of different backgrounds. Okay? I want to keep the face the same and do different backgrounds. Now, it's going to make different outfits. And that's okay. I don't mind that. But you have to actually caption them. You know, you have to say for this one, like, leather jacket or something. It's quite confusing because she's still got the shoulder pads. Actually, there's a little bit of an issue there. Look, she's got a collar in that one. Got a collar in that one. And then she's got like a lapel type collar here. So, I mean, I suppose you don't have to keep them all, do you? But, you know, it's doing the thing. So that's the first 4. Where is it at? Is it just skipping through them randomly? It's just like, yeah, it is. It's doing the last one from here. So it's going to be all over the place. Alright, that's fine. So anyway, yeah, I thought it'd be interesting because if I remake Thora, this is like a Redux project. So I've already got a character. You know what I mean? I've already got a character. All I'm doing... Let's move over a little bit more. I've already got a character. But she doesn't have that consistency. Whoops. She doesn't have that consistency because I didn't even make it, you know? I think at the time, every single image is different. You know what I mean? Every single image in the dataset, she's wearing a different outfit. It's like vaguely a military suit or vaguely a black kind of, you know, like this. But it's not like... oh, and the red stripes have to go here. It's not to that level of development, you know what I mean? It's kind of like I put all my energy into all the other stuff, and then moved on to a different model to do different things. But as we come back to it, it's an interesting little project, because it's like a lot of us have made an image data set in the past where we have a character that's kind of already, we've already trained it on 1.5, 2.1, XL, Flux, whatever. You trained it all already, right? And so you've got those images already tagged sitting in a folder. And so I was sat there going, so could we like make those images better? Maybe re-tag the data set, or just use the same. I've tried that too, just use the same data set. And so I've retrained it into WAN, used WAN text to image to make the new images, as we're saying here. Or image to image is also good if you want to be keeping it closer. And then I've taken those images, and I've taken that image of the character into QWEN, and then we're just using an agent to... see, that's actually too same. But it is, to be honest though, it's doing the thing. I'm a little concerned that it's going to give me a whole bunch of like just reframes. But is that so bad though? Because it will train the character in. It's just a shame it's the same background a lot. Because it is supposed to be changing the background. Maybe these are from the action scene. That could be from the action scene set. Because she's got a gun. It is high quality and the outfit is super consistent. Like, you know, if I'm just judging it based on I wanted my character to be either in a different pose. I can't remember what the full set of instructions I gave now. I think it was like new interior scene, new exterior scene, action scene, and I forget what the last one was. Poses? Different poses, maybe? Boyo says, I'm currently using my Restorer upscaler to enhance my 1.5 dataset and put it into WAN and QWEN. Defo worth doing and upgrading your datasets. Yeah, because like I said, a lot of us were working with synthetic data from the start. And the thing about synthetic data is you can just denoise it and upscale it, and then now it's ready for the next generation. I'm targeting 1536 to 2048 as my new dataset size. So, you know, if you're thinking about, oh, I want to do this, I would say go for 2048, because you can squash your stuff down to 1536, or the trainer will do it for you. And that way you're kind of future-proof, because I think that the next image model is going to come out. It's got to be 2048 by 2048 base. I don't know, I've got nothing, not a sniff to tell me that, but it's like, you know, just look at the progression. I mean, if there is going to be another image model, and it's going to compete with video, it's going to have to beat 2048. Because that's currently like, that's the zone where things start to get ropey at the moment. You can do it, but you have to do text to image to 1536, and then image to image that image to 2048 or 4K, right? So you're tiling to keep it from squeezing itself, like stretching and stuff. But it can't just do straight. You know, you might get away with it a couple times, but I mean, like, the rejection rate is much bigger. You know, the characters will have, like, extra limbs. There'll be 2 of them. You know, tiling stuff, because it's just too big, right? But WAN text-to-image is able to go all the way up to 1536 with no problems. You can even get away with 2048, but like I said, you can see the diminishing returns, like where it's not really able to operate at such a high resolution. But then obviously you can use image-to-image tiling, and it can't change anything. It doesn't have the strength to, So in that sense, you can go to 4K easily like that. But you're not going to get extra detail, right? The extra detail comes in at the start, which is why I've been retraining, because I proved that if you take a blurry data set and train it on WAN, you still get blurry outputs, even after upscaling. So I'm not using detailers, by the way, just to keep it safe, because obviously it's like all these different tools. What was it that made it better? So I try to eliminate a lot of things. So I'm not on. I don't use Lightning. I don't use unless it's built in to Comfy. You know what I mean? I try to keep it stock. No Sage, no T-Cache, none of this stuff. I do use. I tell a lie. I do use Lightning now and then. The LoRa's, but I think they're fine because anybody can just download them and put them in. How are we doing? Another action shot. Seems to be a bit confused about what guns are with QWEN. But that's okay. In the corridor again. Okay, another new location. Another new location. Another new location. Because the thing about this is, when you're trying to train a character LoRa, you need the backgrounds to change so that it knows that the big difference isn't really important. It's the little differences. See? Because obviously the difference between, think about it, if we go the difference between this image and this image, there are certain changes which are huge, like the rocks turned into trees. That's a huge difference. But then the small amount of change that happened to the character, that difference can be learned. So, oh wow, look at that. It's given her a soldier outfit, but it's actually the stealth outfit, but it just gave it khaki. That's not canon. Oh, this is pretty cool. Right, well, I'm just having too much fun tonight because we're having a chill out Saturday, so I forgot to do coffee time. So, delayed coffee time, 20 minutes late. We normally do it on the hour, so here it is. Much delayed coffee time. Chug, 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 chug. Boyo says character LoRa's need to have varied backgrounds more than styles, or else you drag the bloody things through into the generations. Exactly. One of the big problems with the Sharona dataset is that the backgrounds are too similar and they get learned as part of the character, and that's something you're needing to avoid. Hey Dominic, welcome. So glad you could join us. We're doing instant character LoRa's with QWEN-EDIT tonight using an ENH enhancement agent which is speaking instruct. So click and zoom. You may have been with us for ages, I don't know, but that's a solid recap. We're just on coffee time. I'll show you in a second the workflow. Obviously you can't see anything right now, but yeah, we have a workflow which is making us 16 images from one image. So we give our character art and we say what we want each group to be, and then it goes ahead and it tries to do that. We designed the prompts live. And it's just generating my data set right now. I guess we can train it tonight if it's good, I don't know. Yeah, instant LoRa. Because, I know I titled the show 16 shot, but, I'd say 16 images is probably a good number if you want to make a character LoRa, especially when they're this tight. So, let's drop back in for the Dutch resume. So here we are with our beautiful workflow. And essentially we have 4 prompts. So let's just zoom in on those. Our actual prompts are: place the woman into a variety of interior scenes exploring corridors and industrial interior spaces. Oops. Don't worry, he knows I can't spell. Place the woman into a variety of outdoor scenes with contrasting locations. Place the woman into a variety of outfits using spy suit, military uniform, soldier's uniform, and stealth suit. Stealth suit. That's basically what a spy suit is. I'm just going to change that. And place the woman into a variety of action scenes with many different poses. I'm just going to say action scenes and poses. It's probably a little bit better. And obviously they all get hooked into the various places. That's open route to Sonnet 4. We're going to be putting the image. So we have the image of our character that we're targeting. She's going in to all 4 and to all these. So normally if you were to download a workflow like that would be a QWEN-EDIT. So that bit I've highlighted on the end there, like 1 column, that's a full QWEN-EDIT workflow, basically. And I've just collapsed all the previews because I just look at the output result. I'm not really sitting here usually watching it. But the idea is that it's going to go ahead and it's going to create 4 prompts per output. And they're going to come out as structured JSON. And I got a little bit of code which is running garbage. It's just going to ignore all that, and it only puts that in. So it's actually instruct prompts. These are all instruct prompts. Change the suit to convert the close-up to portrait, transform to wide shot. And the funny thing is this type of instruct enhancer is a little bit different from the ones that I've been making up until today. So instead of Boyo, are you being rude to people in the chat? What are you talking about? You've never bought a coffee before. It's you just buy them, man. It's not really premium. It's just, that's called hyperinflation. When people say to me, why does a coffee cost £4 now? And I'm like, well, it's a choice. I can buy a box of 30 coffees for £4, so it's a choice. But if I don't have a coffee machine with me, maybe I'll just buy one over the counter. You're diabetic. There's no sugar in my coffee. Anyway, there is argument to be made with them putting too much sugar in the coffee, but I don't do sugar in coffee. Anyway, let's get back to it. Be nice. Anything but water kills, I think, is the answer here. And yeah. My God, talk about this like crazy. The coffee debate. The coffee debate ends because, you know, it's just coffee, guys. My God. Never thought I'd comment on it, really. But there you go. So can we just get back to this? Yeah, I think so. Boom. We have an action pose. We have a different corridor. It kind of looks vaguely more industrial, but to be honest, it's the same. It's kind of like too strong. And then we also have the winter. Black coffee and clear vodka. Yeah, do you know what? Whiskey's not so bad. I think you can get the Irish coffee going. Now that's a good idea. I fully support the Irish coffee. Very good stuff. Baileys. Great stuff. Okay, so far it did a good job, but some of these didn't really change. I think maybe those were the corridor scenes, so let's just trace it, right? So what have we got here? We've got... okay, maybe he's just lives out in the boonies. He's never seen one. I get it. Okay. To be fair, it's mostly people buying iced coffee with fruit juice in it, which I don't understand. No shade. I'm sure it tastes great. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Because, you know, there it is. Doesn't really matter. They just call it something else. Right. What is this? Transform to wide shot. No. Transform to wide shot, camouflage. Keep her exact appearance. Rappelling down the building. See, I don't see any rappelling. So I reckon that's this one, number 3. So let's just check the outputs. So this one was supposed to be a variety of action scenes and poses. So we have a gun scene, another gun scene, a kind of nothing scene, and a jumping scene. So do you know what I would say there, guys? One of them failed. Do you know what I'm saying? Like one of the prompts didn't work. It was the third one. So let's see what the third prompt was. It was transform to wide shot, showing her rappelling down a building experience, keeping her exact appearance. Yeah. It couldn't do that. It struggled with that. So I think it's going to be like, it's funny, you're going to see it working, and then you're going to see like an image which is almost the same as the input, and you're going to be like, oh, and it is kind of what, it has actually outpainted the scene a little bit, so it didn't do nothing. But when I see this sort of thing, you see what I mean? Here's another one. It makes me think, the prompt was just a bit too ambitious. It's a bit like a failure, because you think like every single image was good. Every single image was good. Some of them are like not the right style anymore, but I think I could do an image to image pass with low denoise and just fix it that way. You know, you could bring it back into the style if you really wanted to. But like I said, we have actually got a LoRa data set here. It's not the most vibrant, and I feel like I'd probably do another pass. So in fact, like I said, that was just one seed. So cue another seed, and then we're going to have another set. And then, of course, you can curate it down. Because it's like we're not actually having to prompt all of that. It's just automatic. Once you've got this set up, all I had to do was come up with, you know, what I want it to do for each of the 4. That's all I really had to do. I'm still surprised that they all came out exactly the same though, guys, because they should have had different seeds and all kinds of stuff. Yeah, they should all be on different seeds, but they were. Did you see how close they were? Most of the images were like identical. I was like, how is that even possible? Because you know the outputs should have been different. They were virtually identical, and then the seeds were all different, but they were virtually identical. Like, okay. I guess it just follows the prompt really well. Right, standing up time. So, yeah, let's get her front and center one more time so everyone can see what we're doing. So it's a QWEN-EDIT instant LoRa workflow. Uses open router so you don't have to think with Sonnet 4, but you could easily use your favorite LLM, and there's an Olama hookup as well. So if you just want to use QWEN2 VLM, it probably won't be as good with my complex system prompt, but you could like chill my system prompt out. You don't even really need the 4-shot 16-shot thing. It's kind of a gimmick, if I'm being real. Like, it makes it easy, but you don't really need it. You could do it all with your, you know, your big brain. You could type everything in yourself, you know. I recommend not doing that though. How are you doing? Has it done one image yet? Hey, there's image 1. Boyo says, Gemma 3 does your system prompt well. VLM for local. Good. The only reason I recommend QWEN-25 VL is because that's what the clip, the clip is using the same. The clip is using the same model with Qwen. So there's a potential bonus alignment optimization. It's not the same instruct, of course, but we've kind of made our own. Look, what I've done is I've kind of made my own instruct that goes on top of what the LLM is saying. So then we have a Sonnet 4 powered instruct LLM. That was the idea. And then the 4-shot stuff is just nice because it makes it more consistent. That's the next one. Another one over in the forest. Another one over in the desert. It's a little bit interesting, and it's just making the same. It shouldn't be making the same thing over and over again. It should be making different stuff. It's a little concerning that he's just making the same thing. Because I didn't actually say what I wanted. Like I said, place the woman into a variety of outdoor scenes with contrasting locations. And that translated to the same setup every time. Red Rock Canyon, mountain landscape, tropical beach, and dense forest. Isn't that, I find that kind of interesting. It's like, oh, give me some backgrounds. And it's like, and I've said, well, he said he wants contrasting. There's only 4. So I'm going to pick the same 4 things every time. You know what I mean? Almost like wind, water, fire, mountain, or whatever. That's really quite interesting. I could be a little bit more, I could be like better with the prompt, to be fair. Boyo says, Qwen is aligned, but Gemma handles more complexity, so horses for courses. For best alignment, make your prompts in Chinese. Well, I hope you're fluent in Chinese, because Chinese is not an easy language to translate. And if we think Google can do it, well, I thought I was an optimist. I bet it translates to something. Something vaguely close, maybe. Yeah. But at least when you spell English, it means what you spelt. Yeah? There's no like, oh, the letter T, that's actually 4 different things. Yeah. Okay. It is interesting, though, that you can get token compression. It's a nice little trick, but I think it has limits, you know what I mean? I think it'd be easily misinterpreted when you start putting things together which shouldn't go in that order. And I think it's a nice trick, but I think it's got limitations, unless you're like a fluent Chinese speaker. So it's interesting, though. It is interesting. I mean, we knew this in Midjourney. Midjourney can do that too, because they had their Japanese anime model. And it was all, supporting Japanese language. So there was a similar thing going on with their characters, the kanji. Similar, but not the same. You have to memorize. How are we doing? Whoops. Okay, same background, different background. Okay, the cool. It's got it's got like a high-tech house, but it did give us a different pose. So what I would say is, just keep spinning. Just keep spinning. It's a good trick, right? And just change these prompts occasionally. Queue up a couple. At the end, you'll have a big old folder. Get the best ones. Caption them, train them, done. Because this is going to give you the most. This is going to give you the most consistent outfit because it was based on one image, and it does a really good job of keeping that design the same. Is there a chance that the quality will deviate and blah blah blah? Yes, but you're the one in charge of curation, so if you have more candidates, you have a higher chance of getting the best out. And like I said, this gets rid of the garbage problem, because I know I'm guilty of this. Even the model that I trained this on, it had bad hands. You know, there were bad hands. There were some cracking images, but they had bad hands. I fixed that with WAN, retrained it all. It's fine. We haven't lost anything. All we've done is gain. It's just gains. And in a way, I'm kind of stepping back because I've already got it up to 2048 and 4K, my new data set. But I want to make the character, it's a style at the moment. She's not really a character. It's trained on Thor, a woman, but really the backgrounds have got just as much importance as she does to make it work. So yeah, I'm interested in that. I wonder if there's a way I can like automate these instructions here. Place the woman into. Do you know what? Let's just talk to Claude. Oh, he's gone all funny on me. Look, he's stuck in robot mode. I need data input. Refresh him. But yeah, Gemma is actually a brilliant alternative. In fact, you know what? Let's just show you the spread. I don't even have my laptop, so these are like the models which I've got on the main machine. I don't have GPT-OSS 120 billion. For some reason, they're always at the top of the list. I guess you're streaming to Olama now, like OpenRouter. I have no clue, but I don't have them. But the rest of them are actually on my machine. So I've got DeepSeek R1 1.5 distilled. It'd be nice if you could see the whole thing, but never mind. I got various quants of different, you know, parameterizations. I think that's a QWEN. Yeah, QWEN distill. Another QWEN distill, which is in Q8. So obviously, you know, models which are larger, models which are smaller. Higher quantization, less parameters. It's like a trade-off, you know, or the other way around, you know, more parameters, less quantization. It's like two ends of the compression scale. It's not really compression, but we were just talking about Gemma. I have the 1 billion and I think the 4 billion on my bigger machine. The 1 billion will run on a laptop now, which is nice. And then I actually use Polaris 4B. I think it's actually probably, do you reckon they've actually brought that out? Because I've been waiting for that thing to come out. Oh, and QWEN-3 8 billion in Q8. That one's nice. That one's tip top. But it doesn't have vision. So I end up going back to 25VL, which I run in a 7 billion on my main machine. But I run in like, I think the smaller one, 2 billion or something. I forget what it is for the laptop. But it will run on a 4GB GPU. So I'm not really going to use this right now. I just wanted to show you, like, you know, these are the sorts of things. You can just have Olama installed and you can just pick it and there it is, done. And then obviously in the workflow that we're using right now, I'm using OpenRouter right here. But if you go over here, we have Olama, which is going to use a local model to do the exact same thing. There's no difference at all. It's just the bigger models can do deeper recursion, so they can do more complex commands. This will still run it. We'll still run it. It's just it might not do every single instruction. You know, it's a bit like you give someone 7 things to do and he did 5 of them. It's a bit like that. He got 5 down the list and called it a day, which is fine. He's not as powerful as the big boy, right? That's the idea. Okay, so how are we doing on this new spread? Oh, we got some more. QWEN proportions are so funny. It's really trying to give me a big head and a little body. Keeps doing it. The gun's really bad, but that's fine. It doesn't matter. Because the thing is, we can put these images through WAN and up the denoise with the original model, and it will fix. You know, you could do in painting maybe, and make it into like, you know, real gun look. Because we've got loads of images of highly detailed guns. Too many actually. Okay, so obviously I'd probably ditch all of these because it's going to reinforce the background. Even though it's a good quality background, it's done a great job of keeping the detail of this background. Like the style is there, all the elements are in the right place. Not enough cables and wires, but you know, small complaint, you know, it's like really chilled out the wires. But then we don't have any of our LoRa's loaded, so I kind of expect that. For just straight image editing, this is pretty amazing. Because like I said, you know, you put the character in and say, I want her in a new place, please. And off it goes. We've ended up getting some good ones, because the backgrounds need to be like super different. I mean, even that is pretty good, because it gives like a sort of fatigued version of the scene. It's annoying that we're getting the same sorts of, you know, the same sorts of places. I was hoping to get more varied outputs. Like, oh yeah, we get a different thing, but it's in the same bloody. So I'll have to tell it, always change the scene, you know. Place the woman into a new scene. Hang on. Into a new scene. And pose. Okay. Place the woman into an action scene. And pose. I'm just going to make them all a bit more hacky. Place the woman into a new outfit. Terrible. Into a new outfit. Cool. Place the woman into an unusual or otherworldly scene. Let's see what it thinks that is. Okay, housekeeping time. So let me just see. We need to go to the download section. See, the idea isn't just to sort of sell a system or to be like, this is the way. The idea is to be saying, this is how we made it, you can make yours. All you needed was those ingredients. A lot of those ingredients would be proprietary to your own work, so it's not like you're just taking prompt lists randomly. You have a LoRa, which is that's a caption list. You can feed that into the agent programming. So then you don't need to put the, you know what I mean? I don't need to put the trigger in, because the agent knows that I'm using 2 specific LoRa's for this project. Yeah. And so it's going to put the triggers in on its own. If the character's in the scene, it'll use that trigger. If not, it'll just be the style. That's the idea. Now obviously with QWEN-EDIT, you don't have the luxury of having pre-trained your LoRa, because we're making the dataset now. Obviously we could train it on this model. Just in case you're interested in training on QWEN, as far as I'm aware, and you can correct me in the chat guys, as far as I'm aware, it's a 3-bit training process, which is a bit of a pig. I think Boyo could probably tell you more about that. He's here in the chat today. So, and apparently it didn't train, or it's not that it didn't train very well, it's that you couldn't trigger the trained knowledge very well. But I haven't done it yet. I'm just going off of what Boyo shared with us in the Discord group. So, Ferdicar says no GLM 4.5 yet. That's an interesting question, mate. Let's just see how we're doing on the open router, because that's the usual place I go to see what's the latest. We got it on sort with newest. So DeepSeek 3.1. Wait, what? Audio inputs as prompts? GPT-4o audio. Is this old? I never even saw that before. Huh. Oh, $40. Audio tokens cost $40 per million. Dang. Yeah, Don Tommaso says 3-bit is for memory reducement. Yeah, it's quite a large model, so training it is difficult, but I'm... Ah, there you go, ZAI, GLM 4.5, Fernie. If you want to use... Look. See, look. A lot of people get it twisted. Let me just minimize the screen here. I'm getting blasted. So, a lot of people get it twisted. You can have your VS Code, you can set up your API, but if you're just wanting to check something out, you know, you can just use the chat. Obviously, I have an account, I've got credits. So, if we wanted to just come in and just try some stuff out, you can just click chat, you know, and you can just go ahead. So, yeah, try that out. It's just a nice little thing to point out. That's what I use it for, that chat interface. There's our character source. Get her back over on the side there. And there is my QWEN-EDIT. We're trying to do scene replacement or outfit replacement. Oh yeah, damn, do you know what I forgot? I forgot. He needs to replace the scene every time, no matter what. New scene and pose. New scene and pose. Unusual, otherworldly scene, new outfit, right, new scene and outfit. I'm just going to throw it to chance, because the thing is, it should be Laura aware. See, it's giving me even a report here. Character assignment, Thor, a woman with red hair and blue eyes. The funny thing is that I used to spend hours making sure that the captions all start with the exact same route, and the joke is, now you can just get the agent to do all of that. It's crazy. So it's going to make a futuristic corridor. Right. I could tell it to avoid corridors because of the fact that the donor, you know what I mean? Like the donor image is a corridor. So I could say, just say avoid corridors. Yeah. Avoiding corridors. I don't know if that'll work. Might work. Let's try it out. Copy that. Paste. 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 Yeah. Just to try and make sure that it doesn't just make the same image. You know what I mean? I think the reason that it was doing it was actually because if I say to him, oh, just change the scene, change the outfit. Well, I didn't tell him to change the background, did I? So it's literally just doing what I've told it to. It's like Mickey Mouse, you know, with the buckets of water. What did you ask it to do before you start saying it didn't work, you know? Seems to be working just fine. Yep. I'm actually going to cancel this job and then start another one because I was not specific enough. But yeah, this is looking nice. Let's just do a gallery of this here. So these are not upscaled. Oh, it's playing on the wrong bloody screen. These are not upscaled images. Full screen. Yeah. So these aren't upscaled. They're just QWEN-EDIT outputs. Where you see a lot of the same corridor, it's because I've changed something else. Forgot to tell him to actually change the background every time. But he did a great job with outpainting and reframing and close-ups and all kinds of stuff. The character is on point. A lot of the details are perfect. The guns suck, but it is QWEN. Do you know what I mean? It's like a completely different model. QWEN is really good at doing guns. You know, for some reason it's got great pistols and rifles. Like, the detail is amazing. It didn't change her suit, even though it changed the camo pattern. And I know that some of the poses are like quite tied down, so it's like it's almost like it's this, yeah, it's just the same image, but there is some variation there. But it definitely gives, like, there you go, there's the outfit. Like, if this doesn't train a consistent outfit, I mean, it's the curation that's at fault. So Boyo says, yep, the QWEN model is rather large due to the stack being fat all the way. If you want to train on 24 gig, you quant down to 3-bit and use an Aura LoRa, and then it fits on the 24 gig VRAM. Thank you, Boyo. Yeah, that gun sucks. But it did, the assignment was make me a character LoRa from this one image, which is like this one you're looking at. And so I asked it to make me different poses. I asked it to make me different outfits. I said, do like different framings. And then eventually change the scene, which it's done. And, you know, we can talk about, oh, the scene isn't very good. Like, it's kind of generic. Okay, just generate more of them. Actually ask more specific instruction. If you look at my instructions, I've tried to be as like automatic as possible. So it's like, give me place woman in new scene. You know, obviously we've got like an LLM prompt enhancer to save us, but I've tried to make it like super simple, because it's an instruct prompt at the end of the day. It's not, you're not supposed to be putting a prompt masterpiece in there. It's supposed to be like, make the image widescreen, make the image close up, put a hat on the girl. You know, that's the kind of level that they're expecting you to go with, and we've managed to turn one of our agents into that. So he's not actually, you know, he can do image prompts, but we've put him into instruct mode for this one, and it's LoRa aware, so it's going to only prompt the same terms that this character is sort of existing in, with, and whatever. But yeah, I think it's made a really nice, consistent outfit. And it'd be interesting to see what the next set of images is going to be, because it should be better this time around. Yeah, 36. So we did it in 16s. So 8, 16, 32, and then I stopped it, didn't I? Yeah, I stopped it and started again, so there's a little bit of roughness. Okay. This will distill the Sharona outfit too, making it consistent. Yeah, I think it will, exactly, yeah. So if I just pick like the best example of Sharona and then put her in here, same process, it'll give me 16 shots of Sharona, all different backgrounds. And then that will make her, it would have made her consistent in one step, whereas before what we had to do was generate like 200 images, delete all the worst ones and retrain it. You know what I mean? Just like trying to literally fine-tune it towards that consistent character. But the problem with Thora is she was a much older data set, and so every single outfit she had was different. And so I've just picked one that looks good today and gone, that's her outfit now. It's got like sort of weak Black Widow vibes. But yeah, Red Johansson in anime style. Let's see, Boyo says QWEN-EDIT and context has killed off Infinite U. I actually uninstalled Infinite U about 2 weeks ago because I felt that WAN beat it anyway. I felt that you had so much control with WAN image generation and it's so much good quality. I thought even if you had Infinite U making the best character variations, the quality is still not usable. Do you know what I mean? Compared to what you can do with WAN image to text to image and image to image. Because everyone else, a lot of people are still using it just for video. They still haven't figured out that if you just say, I'll have one frame please, and ask for like a 2K image, it works. And you're like, wait a minute. I think it'd take a while for people to figure it out, because I think that there's like, well, actually, wait. I think I literally took a text. Do you know what? Should we just try it just to see how easy it is to discover by mistake? Because I think it is actually easy to discover by mistake. Like if I, do I have like a text to video or an image to video workflow somewhere? I've got one here. Is this actually a good one though? This one seems outdated. Oh wait, that's a default. Okay, this is basically a default workflow. Okay, let me just move things a bit. I don't know what I've done. Have I done something here to change things? I don't know. It looks like a default workflow. Let's see. 4 and 4, 2 and 2, hand over at 2, enable, disable. Yeah, split, 1, 2.2 lightning. It's using high noise, low noise. Yeah, there's no other lightning or anything like that. I'm using GGUF in Q8s. It's got the 2.1 VAE. No tricks. Literally, not even a quantized clip. No tricks. We've got an image here, which is our input image. Should we change it? There we go. We'll use that one instead. Pretty good. Like I said, these are WAN outputs, by the way, at 1152. Not bad, but we can do better. So I'm going to go see this 1280. I have a little tool we made for this, aspect size V2. I can just pick WAN 22. It's going to do the math for me, so I'll just plug those in there. If you're wondering what that is, it'll be a 1536 by 1536 base, whereas that is significantly smaller. So like 1440 base at 16 to 9 is 1920 by 1088. So that's double. So what we're going with is actually more than double 720p. It's more than double. So then what we'll do is we'll say 1 frame. I just want to see if it works with no modification. Do you know what I mean? I just want to see if like it's possible to just be like, because look, oh, there is something else you have to change. You have to put a save video, a save image at the end. That's it. I think that's it. So then we just delete the video stuff. Remember, I did it a bit quick. 1 frame, length 1. Okay. I think that's about right. I'll cue that. Because I tried this the other day, because we do it with a single, we actually do it with a single sampler, and we only use the low noise model, which is a lot easier to run. Do you know what I mean? If you only need the low model, text to image. See, in fact, I'm using image to image, so this is going to be really interesting. As far as I know, you actually do need the text to image model to do this. So let's see what it will be interesting to see what happens actually. So how are we doing on the Qwen side of things? Because he's like, I might just cancel it. Because, you know, I could, you know, you can just run more seeds, change the prompt. I think we've explored this one. So here we go. Alternate outfit. Didn't change the background. Way too silly. Another beach scene. I mean, you know, that's typical AI stuff. Gun, action scene, but the background. See, the background's not changing. So I need to refine this to make sure that she changes the background. You know what I mean? But again, that's a curation thing. I can just delete the ones that always have the background. It's not a big deal. I'm not bothered. Right, stop this. I need to stop this. Can I, like... It's too late. Alright, it's too late. Alright, cool. Let's get back to that other one. Okay, so we're loading. I just wanted to see how difficult it is to accidentally discover the text-to-image feature, which they don't tell you about. They don't tell you about it. I tried to tell people about it, but to be honest, right, I wanted to do a big video on it, and every day I keep using it. I keep finding some other thing, and then the control net's coming out, and then the fun models, and it's just constant. So it's like, you know, every time I want to release the info, it's outdated because, you know, we found some new ability. It's probably going to be a long video when it comes out. That's kind of why I said the video tonight, the show tonight's called Partial Johnson. Because it's like you only get part of Johnson these days because every day there's a new thing. So I can't, you know, this is why I do the live show now. If I was going to do a video on everything that was new, it would take like half of my day would be making a video on the thing and putting it out. It's better to do a 2-hour live show than to spend potentially 3 hours editing a 20-minute video on something, because it's every day. It's every day. I'm just trying to think, what was the last thing? Diff. QWEN-Image just released diff, ControlNet diff models. So there's Canny, Depth, and I think Pose, but I'm not sure. I think it's Canny, Depth, Pose, but it might be something other than Pose. Sometimes Pose is separate and they do Canny, Depth, HED or Scribble or something. I think it's Canny, Depth, Pose for QWEN-Image, not QWEN-Image Edit, just QWEN-Image. And they're like diff LoRa's, as far as I can tell. It's a bit confusing though, because it seems like the one they want you to use is like bigger. But anyway, I've only downloaded them. I haven't had a chance to use them yet. No doubt by the time I've figured them out and like shown them off on a live show, there'll be something else. So what's it doing? A man and a woman's... Oh, the prompt's terrible, guys. I do apologise. The prompt is terrible. It should be, you know, just a woman... Anyway, whatever. So the prompt's going to be bad. This is taking forever. Do I have to restart my computer? Oh my goodness me. It's funny, there's no actual clip loaded. There's no LoRa clip loaded right now. It's going on about LoRa blocks. We've got model. We've got the model waiting there. Yeah, I suppose. It claims that it's running it now. That's the claim. But yeah. Oh, okay. So I just wanted to see, because like I said, how hard is it to figure it out by accident? So you'd have to hook up the save image node to the end of a video workflow and ask for 1 frame. The size isn't too important, right? The size isn't too important. I just, you know, if it works, I want it to have a good quality. But yeah, you don't even need the high model for this. So obviously, to make it this better, you can just do this. Obviously, I probably won't use this sampler anymore either. I'll switch to a normal sampler. Did we use the advanced? No, I don't think we did. I think we just used this one. There's so many samplers as well now, guys. Honestly, it's like, this is why I try to just stick to the basic stuff. Because 1, I know everyone has it. And 2, I don't really know where everyone is at in terms of skill level. Like when I started, everyone was learning. But now people know where they're at. You know, it's like my workflows are like kind of less important now because they actually have all the default workflows on a really well written wiki for Comfy.org, which is amazing. Because I'd rather not be doing that, if that makes sense. I'd rather be making the more interesting stuff that comes off the top. You know, with the modifications, basically. Let's see, we've got that there. 4. We'll do 4 steps with 1 CFG. And I do ULERT beta. But, you know, your mileage may vary. Do you know what I mean? I'm not too fussed about, you know, some people like Res Multi-Step, some people like SGM Uniform. We've got Bong Tangent now, guys. Shall we use Bong Tangent for fun? I've not even used this one yet. Oh, and by the way, this is a total sketch workflow. So, yeah. But yeah, remember, look, this was a high noise, low noise. Look at that, beautiful. Oh, yes, beautiful. That is a sit. Oh, yeah, look at. Okay, so now I'm seeing why people wouldn't have found out. I've never used bong tangent, so this should be interesting. I do have a crap prompt here. I could probably say a woman with red hair is wearing law enforcement, no, riot gear in a what's it called? Sci-fi corridor. Right, riot gear while standing. Yes. Okay, we'll just go with that. Oh my. So yeah, there's no way anyone would have found out. That's crazy. That just blows my mind. Because I was wondering about this. I was like, how come nobody else has really picked up on it? Like I don't know. Is that video in there? Yeah, that's video in there. What about in here? Yeah, it's video in there too. What about in here? Ooh, whoops. I went too far. There we go. We've got some image to image action here. What's this? There we go. So, you know. Is that upscaling though? I think that's upscaling. Yeah, that's, what is that? Ah, it's 1920 by 1280. So it's not the biggest. It's 1920, 1280. They all tend to be 1920, 1280. 15, yeah, it's 1536. It's 1536. So it's like you end up making stuff like this quite easily. You know, it's like not actually a problem to get. I mean, obviously this is an abstract style. It's like a sci-fi architecture merged with a crazy organic style. So you get like wires that look like muscle fibers and cloud that looks a bit like brain and all this sort of stuff. I've showed it before, but that one is a 1536er. So single, dual. So in this particular workflow, I was even showing people the whole thing. So let's just drop one of these in here and we can just look at that workflow. This is much more, makes more sense, okay? So I've got it on Paradistro Void Chamber right now, but I could change that to anything I want really. Let's just put it on Outpost. That's gonna have to be Sonnet 4. We're gonna need my key. Ninja my key. Doesn't even matter, I'll shut it off in a minute anyway. Right. Where is it? There it is. Copy it. Oh no, they ninja'd my key. Get over here. Oh my god. That's not what I expected to happen. I'm trying to find the parameter. Here it is. There we go. Right, and what stack are we using? Abstract and chaos. Okay. Cool. We'll just run it. Now, let's get into what this is about. So as you can see, what we've got is we've got a bunch of different... it's workflow for making video, but it's got one sampler. So 4 steps, 1 CFG, Euler beta, 1 denoise. We're using a tiled decode 256, and we're using 1 nag, okay, on the negative. But other than that, it's just an empty latent with 1 frame, and we're using the my 122 setting at 3:2. Now, again, that's 1536 base. It's gonna give you much bigger. It gives you more quality. You know what I mean? If you're targeting 1080p and you're making it slightly bigger, you can always shrink it down. It's always gonna look better. So, anyway, so yeah, on the left we have, no, sorry, the top 4 are text to image, the bottom 4 are image to image, and on the right is an image to image of the first one. Okay, the top 2 is a single sampler, and then the bottom 2 is the double sampler. So this is what I was trying to show you a minute ago, but you know, like the model combinations are all slightly out. Mostly I think it's because I was using image to video, whereas you need the text to video. You can do text to image and text to image and image to image with the text to video low noise. So when you're talking about image generation, it can all be done on the T2V low noise model. For the clip, I'm using UMT Q8 Guff here. Q6 is fine. You can even get away with Q4 KM if you do have a smaller system. Same advice goes for the main model. There is a PIG VAE, and there are other quantized VAEs, you know, but it's quite small. I think it's like 256 meg. I'm using my Zenkai image-to-image base. You can get that in my repo. It's I call it easy, natural, helper, so an enhancer for your prompt. It's a system prompt. I advise you to like modify it. So we showed everyone how to do it tonight. So just a quick recap. We started off with my T2i Thora ENH 4-shot, and we said we need to make an image-to-image version of this because I already had my text-to-image version, which was aware of all the captions for the lore I wanted to use and was already programmed to do the 4-shot JSON output. And that works with the node. So the parser node. And so then here it is. He said a bunch of stuff, blah blah blah. It's going to use vision again. It's like vision enabled, so it's going to take that into account as well. Again, like the LoRa alert, maintain LoRa consistency. It's like okay, temporal change categories, same category, different clothing, maintaining style, changes in weapons, same character in different settings, and so on. It's quite good. And then the Thora the integration, so it's like it's aware of what this is the template that the LoRa likes. So it's kind of like going to make you, it's going to generate prompts which are kind of like aligned with the LoRa you have loaded. So it's like further increasing potential for the quality of the output. It's also going to put the trigger in on its own, okay, and it's going to automatically change it. So if you're using a prompt randomizer, you don't even have to worry about it. It's just going to go, oh, so if I say I have a completely different character and I want to plug those images in, right, and they are XYZ woman or XYZ girl, it's just going to go, oh look, it's a trigger woman thing, switch. So it's clever enough to do this stuff. There's many more cool features in the prompt, but the main one is the template for the example. So, you know, we're doing, I think, if I remember right, standard close-up, wide shot, action shot is the basic template for the 4-shot system overall. So it's always going to try and do that with the 4 that it makes. But then we're giving it 4 different ideas and doing it 4 times at once. Oh yeah, and then here we go. So I have a cheat sheet which I taught the context. So I did a context tutorial, and there's a cheat sheet 1 and 2 which contains a whole bunch of example prompts which are good for Flux context. And it's essentially the same system, the context instruct editing, yeah. So essentially we converted my 4-shot into an instruct based version. So now if you look at it, it's going to do this stuff instead. So instead of making like highly detailed image prompts, which is what most image models want, edit, context, and a whole bunch of others, they want instruct. So instead of doing detailed prompts, it's going to make instruct prompts instead, but still playing with all the other rules. Okay, so that's like the big thing that we did tonight. We did it live. We're going to put all of these up on the various repos so you can download them and have a little play around. But the point is, I think this takes a lot of the hard work out of this, and it enables you to, because look at this, prompt 1, standard shot, reference enhancement. Prompt 2, close-up shot, character focus. prompt 3, wide shot, environmental context, and prompt 4, action shot, dynamic transformation. And then obviously you can give it an action, you can leave it in full auto, or you can give it a full detailed prompt from a data set or whatever, and it'll do all of that. Did we do something else? I swear there was one more thing. No, that was it. It was just 2 prompts in the end. Okay. Right, so as I was saying about the whole text to image generation situation here, so I'm using my outpost prompts, so that's the LoRa I've already trained on Flux and WAN, I think. Cyberpunk 3D animation of an armored figure in a metallic green tactical gear, probably the Master Chief then, huh? Methodically navigating through a neon saturated industrial facility. I think you can read the rest of that prompt there. Let's have a look at the images. So remember, the top 4, these top 4 are text to image, but they're text to image using my LoRa. Now if you're new here, you probably don't recognize the style, but this is the Cyber Society style. So lots of wires, vivid colors, this sort of type of armor which has got like a focus on circular features, and lots of electronic components. Circuit boards and wires is one of the main things. I realize his arm is backwards, but that's okay. So here's another version, look, much better than the last one. Kind of looks a little bit Halo-esque, but not really. It's too shiny. It's got the Cyber Society trademark chest plate. Does have a little bit of a video game-ish abdomen. There's wires and everything everywhere. So it seems like the background has sucked all the wires out of this guy. This one's got a couple more wires on him, look. So you've got the different versions. So basically, you know, we've done a text to image, and just take a look at this here. It's 1920 by 1280. That's the default generation size. So this is way bigger than a 2x upscale from Flux, okay? And it's not like, you know, if you zoom in, it's still crisp. See, so, and this is like my generic anime style. Photographic is also good. So let's take a look at image to video quick, yeah? Do I have a preview of the image that we sent in somewhere? Oh, I collapsed it. I don't see it. I didn't have a preview, sorry. So ruined megacity is the name of the image prompt. I have an image prompt system. You put entire data sets in here. In fact, you know what? Let's do Big Doggo. That'll be one of my dogs. But let's look at the outputs that we already have. So here we have a ruined megacity, and it's loaded with that same style. Remember, it makes the cables and wires everywhere, but it's actually painting style. You see, it's like drawn. Has the vivid clouds. It's one of the things it's always been good at. Look at this. Getting a little bit sci-fi horror maybe, don't know. More wires everywhere. The world under the world is a feature as well. You know, sometimes there'll be like void spaces, negative spaces appear with warped landscapes and organic curves and all this giant cables. Yeah. And what I do mostly is I'm like airbrushing out stupid cars that are facing the wrong way, because they destroy the scale. Look, we've got like a car here. Like if that was the only car in the entire thing, it would look epic, because everything would look stupidly huge. You see what I mean? But when you have a car there like this, it's like, oh, this is all stupid. So I spend a lot of my time airbrushing out cars that break the scale perspective, because I always think it's way more epic when things look big, and so I probably keep that one in, actually, because it kind of looks like a distant car on a deserted highway. Whereas, and also, what the heck? You see what I mean? This is why he's got to be small. How's he going to get under that bridge? And that's just ridiculous. But this is what happens, you know. Oh wow, look at that! It's actually going to make my dog. It's going to be the wrong dog. It's going to be the wrong dog, but that's okay. Oh, look at that! We got the Cyber Society tower at the top. Big cable all the way down the building. Very cool, very cool. Do you know what? I'm tempted to do tree, was it Jungle Punk House? See, this is the problem. You just get stuck into an exploration. Maybe it was a prompt. I'm certain. I'm suddenly less certain. I thought it was called Cyber House. Yeah, I must have changed the name of the model. Yeah, it's the wrong doggo. You see how it's adding in the generic, well, I say generic, but those are the features of the model combination. It's funny, my dog's actually a Mastiff and it's turned it into a Bulldog. It's got the right head, but the wrong colours and the wrong proportions. It's really weird to look at for me. I'm like, it's like if somebody mutated my dog into a different dog. We've still got Outpost up here. So how about we try something else, like something more aligned? Oh, I know, Assassin Card is always fun. That one's like a skeleton assassin. So it'll be interesting to see how that comes out. Right, now, should we see if that new node I was teasing earlier is actually going to work? I call it part-time because it works part-time, like Indiana Jones. So the idea is, and I don't even know if this works yet, I got a little bit annoyed with all of the totals. Because guys, sometimes it doesn't tell me. Sometimes there's no time. And also, sometimes it's clearly not counting right. I can remember we were on the stream yesterday or the day before, and it was saying like 2 minutes remaining, and it took 20. So I was like, let's do this ourselves. We can just have a stopwatch. The idea is it has an any input for the start and any input for the out. I don't know why it has a pass-through. I made it with Claude. I didn't even give him an example. I said, we can make a custom node. Do you know what? I'm going to show you the prompt because it's really funny. Here, look, check this out. Because a lot of people, you know, here. Is that it? Scaling node. Oh, I must have started talking to him about something else. Aha, performance stopwatch. Right, let me show you this. Using 2 star any inputs, we can create a new node for Comfy UI named parttimer.py, which has a single function to act as a stopwatch, measuring the time taken from the start input until the stop input. The inputs are named start and stop, which can be connected to anything. The node will begin counting in HHMMSS format until the stop signal is received, printing the result to the console. This node allows for section parts to be measured accurately in full or in parts. So, look, I hope it works because it's really simple. But the idea is, because look at my workflow, which is taking how long and when. It might give me a time for all 8, but come on, man, it's not really fair. You know what I mean? It's not really very. So how do we find out? How do we find out? For example, if I want to go from when the latent got made to when the image got saved, you see what I mean? So I'm gonna call this like B. Timer B. Okay. I don't even know if it works. I only just made it today, and I made it literally with no code. You saw the chat. I just said, make me a custom node. And then I've literally just plonked it in. It doesn't even save any files or anything. It's just going to put something to the console, so you're going to have to like watch out for it. I'll just get rid of that and run it again. Oh no! Oh well, so much for that. Type mismatch. Type received image input. It's trying to match star, the wildcard, to you plonker. Okay, so that's going to take a little bit of time. He's like, because the star means any, and he's like, I can't find anything matching star, boss. So, well, you won't, will you? It's a wildcard. Hey, I'll figure it out and get back to you on that. Should we tell him? Hang on, where's the error? So silly. I'm going to say star is a wild card which represents any input type. However, I received this error. I love AI. It's so good. My hamburger came out as chicken. Why? Well, actually, you didn't ask for that. What you should have said was... Hang on. What's he doing? Oh, look at this. He's changing the code. Oh. Have you given me an explanation? No. Refine type strategy. Uh-oh. Should have just copied a node from any... whatchamacallit, easy use. Should have just copied the easy use node. For easy any easy node. I'd like to know why what it actually was now. He's got me curious. Refined type handling by making inputs optional. Okay, replace problematic wildcard with an explicit list. I'm sure that's not... I'm not going to complain, but... Oh, wow. Holy crap, it does way more. Huh? Oh, wait, these are just different ones. Okay, yeah, they're just different ones. So... You know what? Let's be brave. What's this? This is a completely different repo, isn't it? Diddly-dee, 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 diddly-dee. What? Get rid of that. Yes, here it is. Ooh. Cheeky boy, no errors. I think we got away with it, guys. But yeah, like I said, the 1536 by 1536, it really goes a long way. Like, this model here was actually trained on flux. So, you know, if it's low res or getting blurry, it's because we're reaching the limits of what the data set, you know? And so what I've been doing is I've been using WAN to upscale all my data sets and then retraining them on WAN so I can make super high definition images, and then that future proofs all my work for the next generation of, you know, whatever comes next, because it's not going to stop, you know. Like, this is good, and some of it is just phenomenal. But yeah, don't forget to check out the showreel demo that came out on my main channel yesterday, which shows like abstract art being animated, and we've done the full process, everything I'm talking about tonight. The redux of old data sets, the retraining of LoRa's, the combination of the LoRa's, the using of the WAN to make all new images, the retraining of those images, the fusion of those LoRa's. So it's a lot of work, but come on guys, that's the whole point. This is what we do. You know, it's like saying, oh man, moving that brush, it's a lot of effort. It's really not. So you put that process together and you end up with what I say, you have pristine WAN models, which are your perfectly trained, up-to-date Super HD, you know, artwork, whatever it is, style, concept, whatever it is. And then you can use the first frames with image to video, same model, because that's the joke. You spent all this time training this awesome image LoRa for WAN, and you can make amazing images with it, and then you can use the same exact LoRa stack and those image outputs that you made with WAN to generate video, and they look great. Yeah, there's some problems, you know, there's going to be some problems with video generation, but when has there not been? It's actually really good. If you rewind to the very beginning of the stream tonight, you'll be able to see a demo. I think the first 15 minutes of the show was just me showing the animation, and that's like, I would say, without me actually trying to get good animation, that's what I got. So like, you know, as like an expected baseline, that's the quality you can expect to get, just without, you know, you didn't really do any specific work for that. That's what you get, you know. So it could be made a lot better with various bits and pieces, but the point is that the level of quality at that sort of entry level is crazy. Way better than anything we've had before. Like, it makes all the other stuff look like super complicated and like 10 times the amount of work. Boyo's saying, I'm finding WAN image LoRa's when used in video help enormously. Yeah, they do. They really do. I've found that with WAN 2.1, once you have image LoRa's and you start using canny video input, things start to sing in a major way. If you want to check my source, if you want to check my source on that, go and find my Civit AI profile and look up my WAN LoRa's and see the demos. Okay? Because that's all I can do. I can't go on the site. We're banned in the UK now. Because, you know, online safety and all that. It's brilliant. At my age, can't... Listen, mate, you can't come in. The kids got to keep the kids safe. I'm like, but my kids are over 21. What the hell are you talking about? Ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. But anyway... Oh, we've got an assassin in the... look at that. It's the sword is crap. But we've got an assassin in the abstract style. It's trying to do both things at once. Yes. Do you know what? I think I did actually have the assassin card LoRa now. But I don't want to make things even more complicated. The point I was trying to show with this is if we look at the left column, that would be text to image at the top, image to image at the bottom. We look at the right column, this is just me doing image to image from whatever it was. And what I was trying to show people was that it doesn't matter if you use a single sampler, which is how we discovered this, or if you use the double sampler, which is, you know, we're on same seed, same prompt, same everything. You see what I mean? It's different. It is different. But, like, how different is it really, though? Look, these ones are what you want to be comparing, these two. How different? It is different, okay? But how different is it really? I mean, you know, there's a skull on his belt in that one. And there's a skull on his chest. It's like looking at two Midjourney outputs. Do you see, like earlier I said, it's a little bit like, it feels a little bit like Midjourney, except every image is freaking 1920 by 1280, which is just ginormous. It's probably bigger than you would get if you hit upscale. So, it's funny. And then here's the best part. When you go to doing video generation, you're actually generating in 1440 by 960, and then you hit it with a 2x upscaler for no cost at the end. It's not an AI upscaler. It's just a, you know, it's just a standard industry upscaler, like what you would find in any image editing application. Okay, it uses interlacing rather than AI and neural nets, so it's not going to make it better, but it will make it bigger and fast. And when you've got video, you don't really want to be spending like 30 seconds per frame. Like, what is that? 30 seconds, so 30 frames per second. You want to go for a minute and a half? Just hundreds of frames. So you 300, say 300 frames, right? You want to do 300 frames, for example. And then what you want to do is you want to go, oh, we'll spend 30 seconds for each frame. So it's like, if you want to do upscaling with AI, it's got to be quick. You can't be spending a second per frame. Doesn't make sense. But anyway, like I said, our upscaler is super fast. You can get up to whatever it was, double 960. I think it's like 16 something. So it ends up being like 28 by 16 something. Yeah, it's pretty big. It's pretty big. The image-to-image stuff is great. Like I said, you can play around with the denoise, you can play around with the shift. Oh yeah, and then obviously I got lots of different programmings for the what's it called? Lots of different programmings for the agent. Loads of them. Because what I'm trying to do, I'm not trying to give people like a system with, then they're, oh, you're locked into using my system prompts. No, I give you a template, you throw it in a chat, tell it what you want, and now you've got your own. You throw them in the folder, because I've given the you know, it's just a Zenkai loader for system prompts, that's all it is. So then I will obviously share all of the examples, but I encourage you to make your own, because I don't know what you're trying to make. So it makes more sense to show you how to make your own tooling, and then show you an easy way that you can interact with it. Because like I said, when you've got all these different system prompts, what you're going to copy paste it in here every time? It's a complete nightmare. So what I came up with was the Zenkai loader, which is normally for loading prompts and things like this. Instead it loads system prompts. You put yours in there. You can delete mine if you want, if they're cluttering it up. What I'm probably going to do is make a V2 that is like a bit more advanced than just, you know, maybe there's like a folder selection and then a drop down, something like that. Just something so it's not just one massive list. But, you know, it's a work in progress. I just wanted to get it working, you know. But yeah, so for example, like right now, this is on T2V base. And this is image to video. So, you know, sorry, text to image. So really what I want to do is I want to change it to one of these, you know, depending on, it's like T2I base, that's the one that I start off with. I2I base, that's the one I start off with. And I showed you how to make a temporal agent as well. We did that yesterday. Ooh, that's choice. I might have to make a buttload of these. So the input I'm using right now is Cyberhouse, which is a bunch of like abstract profiles of houses. I actually used it to make a platform video game. I think I gave it away for free. It was a vibe jam, like a game jam. And we did it all with AI in 24 or 48 hours, I forget now. I think it's on itch.io. But the point is, it was made in tiles because it was back in, you know, SD 2.1 era. And so the tiles were all a lot like this. You know, you had like lit up windows and that. And then there would be like a level that you could run across with your character. And then there was a background. We did the background in parallax in the end. But like, it was all very basic. But look at this. It's doing such a good job of infusing the abstract style with the original style. So, I mean, look, I'd probably, like I said, I'll be airbrushing all the people out. But that's pretty magnificent. I like that. It's really nice. It's kind of like some kind of, I don't know, it's like, doesn't it look a bit like Brain? Brain? Energy? Very cool. Oh, we got a different guy. His weapon is still scuffed. But the armor is sick. Look at the armor. Man. Like I said, the detail on the armor is really nice. And we did do a lot of photographical stuff. If you train people, it learns skin texture, pores, eyelashes. You won't have any problems. Very impressive, like I say. So wait, yeah, interesting. So when we do image to image, it makes it more like the model. That can't be right. Is that the last? Isn't that the last pass? It didn't just make it like this again, did it? Surely not. Where is it? It's doing. Oh, it's doing some up there. Okay, maybe it's going to come. Yeah, it's going to come back to that. Oh, cool. I love the details. The joke is, I've got a load of lauras I need to like test. They're all trained, but the work comes first, guys. I always say, follow the money or go where the money is. If you've got something that's worth, you know, you've got to do that. You've got to do that. if our stopwatch works. I'll have to restart it, won't I? Won't be long. So we've gone into a little bit of extra time tonight because I just love being here and you guys are awesome. But if I'm being real, I will be pulling that ejection cord quite soon. So it's been awesome. Don't forget, we start the show every day at 8 p.m. So tomorrow is a Sunday. I do like to start the show early on a Sunday if I can. It really depends if I actually had the whole day. Sometimes I'm like stuck in the middle of nowhere, and then that's why the show isn't early on Sunday. I would have gotten myself into some hijinks. But yeah, the goal tomorrow is to start early. And we don't usually finish early either. To be honest, I like to try and get the things I wanted to get done, and then we finish. Because I'm not like rushing. Usually there's a loose plan, you know what I mean? But I'm not like breaking my own balls or anything. So here we go. Alright, this is my fun time basically. I love it. So here we have. He's almost gripping his double. Look, he's got a double-ended katana with no grip. Now that's a weapon. People often come in the chat asking, what is this, a weapon? Is this a weapon? Is a double-ended katana with no grip a weapon? I guess it is. The reason it's done this, by the way, is the Abstract Chaos. If you remember, the Abstract Chaos was making all of this sort of long features that come across the screen. Even that bridge is actually part of a horizon. So there's, in the concept of Abstract Chaos Laura, there is a horizon with the sky and the underworld, and then that gets applied to whatever gets put through it. In this, we put a skyscraper through it, so it's made a bridge for the horizon with the buildings, and then we've got the underworld sinews and the overworld clouds. Okay, and you see the same pattern here. Look, we've got the same horizon with the excessive cables and the underworld lighting. It's basically heaven and hell. If you actually look at some of the examples, it does even look a bit like that. I mean, I think a lot of people that see the original images, not you know, that it's trained on. There's what one guy said. I think Fernicar said looks like Valhalla. See, it even has Yggdrasil vibes with like the bottom half becoming the roots of a impossibly sized tree. Do you know what I mean? With everything, you know. Yeah, and then at the top we have this crazy. So that's Abstract Chaos, which is one model, but there's also Abstract and Chaos, where I've split the essences of a style transformation version and the original route into two separate things, and then we put them back together again and apply them to everything, and that's what we're actually doing here. Let me just double check here. Abstract style V0, Chaos style V0. Just a note as well, if you do grab any of my Lauras, the V0 means it was an auto train. I haven't refined the captions yet. V1 means I refined the captions, and V2 means I've pulled some images to refine it again. So, there you go. Enjoy the workflows. They're all up in the GitHub. Anything which I showed you tonight will most likely show up over the course of this evening. Thank you very much for joining me. I'll see you tomorrow.